Good morning. Peace and blessings. Happy Monday. I'm the Moon Mama. How are y'all doing today? Today is Monday, as I just said. Redundant. Monday's a day that is governed by the moon, and the moon is currently at the 8th degree of Scorpio. And let me tell y'all, as soon as the moon hit Scorpio, I ran dead into my shadow, like my shadow self. And Scorpio, okay, so let's just get here. The moon governs the feminine. The moon is our internal reality. It governs the Cancer house, but it really is feminine power. It governs the water. So it's like, really, what is feminine power? Feminine power is the internal reality. Feminine power is the subconscious energy. Feminine power is the dream state. Feminine power is the womb. Feminine power is the darkness. Feminine power is the receptivity. Feminine power is aligned to the spiritual, where the masculine power is aligned to the physical. Masculine power is aligned to the seen, the feminine power is aligned to the unseen. Where everything comes from is the feminine. It is the feminine. I want you all to know that this has been the greatest revelation for me in my life. Not just this experience I'm having now, but realizing that feminine power truly is where the power truly comes from. And how I make sense of that is by understanding that when a woman gets pregnant, every embryo initially is aligned in the feminine before the Y or the X chromosome kicks in. It becomes a man, right? Or Y, I'm not sure, whichever, becomes masculine. So the feminine is the creator of all things. Everything comes from the feminine. Every human being on this planet Earth, supposedly, maybe, who knows, maybe not, came from a woman. Women create the material reality. We give birth to it from within ourselves. So what that means on a day-to-day basis, practically what we feel about ourselves, we're going to magnetize. What we think about ourselves and others, we're going to magnetize, because our power is subconscious. It's the internal realms. And so there was a time when I used to let myself, if I was angry with somebody, I would just be in my head, cursing them out and feeling, like they were doing something to me and I was a victim. And what I didn't realize, as I really started studying cosmology and understanding the power of the feminine, is that when I'm doing that, that's a real thing. And people feel it subconsciously. They might not know what it is, but people feel when women are seething and angry and feeling powerless, it's an illusion, because our power is internal and we're going to give birth to whatever we believe. That's why I always say to men, choose a woman that loves you, like that really gives a fuck about you, because if she doesn't, you're going to feel the effects of her in your life. Choose a woman who's conscious. Choose a woman who's awake, because if she's not, you're going to feel the effects of her unconsciousness in your life, because women are the power center of this universe, of our living lives, right? They say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. It is true. But the challenge is that most of us are unconscious and we don't believe that, right? So we don't believe that we are as powerful as we are. So how it shows up is, one of the ways that I see it so easily is that we're always looking for a man with money, right? It's like, I need a man with money. When you have the power, if you understand your wealth, you understand your abundance, you can draw in anything. You can draw in the money yourself. That's why I always say men need a woman who's awake and conscious, because if she is, then she's going to be able to magnetize whatever everyone needs into the family, into the community, because she's magical. That's what an awakened woman is, a woman who really understands how to use her connection to the universe, to the unseen, how to use her subconscious power, how to use the power of her desire to create, not just for herself, but for well-being for everyone, because that is the feminine. It is inclusive. So the moon went into Scorpio and I immediately bumped into my shadow. I have had up till now a great deal of shadow around being a Black woman and feeling powerless to my own power, powerless to my own thoughts, powerless to, the men in my life, powerless to the country, just bullshit, just powerlessness, because I didn't know any better. I didn't recognize that My power was in how I think of something. My power is in my beliefs and how I feel about myself. Then that will help me move through the world in a more empowered way. That I am creating my reality through my feelings, right? As women, we are the creators of the reality. We are the creators of the reality. So when anything shows up in my life, I ask myself, oh, how am I creating this? So I'm in this current experience with my son's father where we are in opposition to one another. We're in opposition to, like, he feels one way about something, I feel another way about something. So I'm asking myself, where am I in opposition to myself? And here's what comes up for me. As a woman, as a Black woman, I have often felt powerless, especially when it comes to my children. This is karmic. This is generational. This idea that we can't protect our children. This idea that our children are not safe in the world. This idea that, we have to, that our children are at threat. It's created from inside of us, and that is a hard thing to get. It is. I don't feel good saying it because I know people are going to be like, oh my God, but it is really the truth. We really are creating out of our woundedness, out of our subconscious, out of our belief systems, out of our patterns. And I know in my family, the women in my family, because I have been at odds with my own power, my own ability to create, and how that works, right? So I have Neptune in Scorpio. So that means Neptune is compassion, right? Neptune is compassion in the shadow. Neptune is compassion for the things that we most fear. So I literally am bringing myself, and because what happens for me when I don't feel like my needs are being met or when I feel ignored, I go into an internal war. I create an internal war with everything outside, and I begin to daydream about the negative things happening. It's the way that I kind of get back, or it's the way I access revenge or envy or something like that, by daydreaming about the most undesirable outcomes, and doing so from a space of, like, I told you so. I told you so. And I'm realizing that's a misuse of my power. That is compassion. That's control. Like, it's compassion completely in the negative, where it's this idea, like, to control everything, my way or the highway. And that's Scorpio. Scorpio wants control. So the moon is in Scorpio, I am looking for the deeper meanings around my own experiences and how I'm creating them, how that showed up in my family structure with the women in my family, how they felt powerless. Like, the women in my family, often other people, like maybe their sisters are raising their children, or their aunties or their mothers are raising their children. So the women in my family feel powerless around their children. And so I am looking at that in myself and asking, how can I bring compassion to myself? How can I bring compassion not only for myself, but for the generations going back and the generations coming forward, recognizing that it is in the feeling of powerlessness that I continue to create more experiences of powerlessness. And powerlessness is never true. It's only true because I believe that it is. I'm never powerless. So when I believe that I'm powerless, what I do is I create negative outcomes that cause more division and separation, that grow the shadow. And when we face our shadows, we can access power. That's where real power comes from. So today, the sun is in Gemini, and the story that we're telling ourselves is key. With the sun in Gemini, and we're in a new cycle, we have the opportunity to look at every aspect of ourselves from a new perspective, from a new perception. And so today I encourage you, I looked at the moon and it was at the 8th degree of Scorpio. It's like, where is the goodness in the most shadowy experiences? Because everything serves to further. There's a Bible scripture that says all things work together for good for them that love God, goddess, right? So what does that mean? God is the creator. So you have to love the creative process. because you are a creator. You're made in the image and likeness of God. So literally loving the creative process, right? Even if it's painful, even if it's shadowy, recognizing that that's what we're here to do on Earthling. We're here to play in this creative realm. And so the thing is, it's like, in the shadows, I'll create an enemy. If I'm in my shadow, I'll create an enemy. I'll create a villain. I'll create myself as a victim. But if I'm empowered and in truth, I can create from love. And then that would say, oh, I'm empowered here. What is the highest and best outcome for everyone involved? Not just me being right, not just me wallowing in my victimhood or wallowing in feeling powerlessness or wallowing and feeling like something is out to get me. It's really important for us as melanated beings to recognize that we create the reality. And so if we believe that somebody is out to get us or that something is out to get us, that we don't have dominion over this earth realm, we are so powerful that we will create an enemy. We will create ourselves a victim. We will create a villain. And most of us do it by creating white people or by creating poverty or creating illness or any of that kind of stuff. But those are our creations. Because as melanated beings, we are in communion with the environment. Our DNA is talking to the sun, talking to the trees, talking to everything. And then the energy brings to us exactly what it is, the frequency that we are resonating at. So today, I encourage you to stand in your truth, stand in love, witness yourself, witness your shadow, and do ritual around it, do prayer work around it. Ask your ancestors to support you. So, because we are moving into this full moon. We are in an eclipse. The full moon is going to bring in an eclipse. And this full moon in Sagittarius is revealing the truth, the absolute truth. So the more you can hold for truth, right? Be willing to let go of the separation. Hold for truth. When the full moon comes in, truth will be revealed. Truth will show up. So with that, I'm the Moon Mama. I love you all so very much. I encourage you to register for the Pluto class. This is why I can access this understanding, because the Pluto energy, the rituals, the herbs help me begin to see where my power is misaligned, where I've been giving it away. All right, peace and blessings. It's hot. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.